Joining me back on the show is Stephen Kennedy. What's going on, Stephen?
Going on, my homie? How are you?
Good, man. What have you been up to lately?
Oh, heaps of training. No, just running the gym. I've been pretty active, so I feel like I've had a few fights. I fought in Hex in Perth, doesn't seem like that long ago, and just helping some of the boys at the gym getting ready for some big fights that we've had, and then getting ready to do it all again.
All right, let's go back to the last time I talked to you was before ACB 88. You went into that fight. You dropped a decision to EJ Brooks. What did you think of your performance, man?
Yeah, it was a really weird fight. It was one of those fights that didn't really feel like I lost because I didn't get like hit or tired or and then he's just, I don't know, just like did a really good job of kind of like winning just enough of the rounds with a little bit of control to kind of get the judge's decision. And then it wasn't one of those ones you could really argue with. It was just kind of like, man, I wish we got to do another round, or you know what I mean? Or wish I did this or did that. But yeah, it is what it is. Like, I mean, I feel like he just like kind of snuck out of there with the win. You know what I mean? It was like he pulled the rabbit out of the hat. You know what I mean? I don't think he could do it again, but well done to him.
It is a big problem right now in MMA where guys will go in and kind of squeak out little decisions where maybe if the judging was proper, it would just be a draw or something like that. Do you think
Yeah,
that there should be more of that?
yeah, there definitely should be more 10-10 rounds and more 10-8 rounds. Definitely, because then if you know you're a good chance to get a 10-8 round, you'll accelerate in a round that you're winning. And if you've got a little bit of an edge in the round, you're going to try and put a stamp on it. And you might be able to save yourself from losing a round if it's a 50-50 round. So that's going to encourage activity, which is what everyone wants. But also just my mate Herb Dean should have just broke us off the fence a few times. I think he just got away with just holding me on the fence for far too long, and I know it's octagon control, but if he's not trying to take me down, he's not trying to do anything. It's not the problem with the judging in this instance. I think it's a problem with the referee. Kept warning, warning, warning. You got to do something, but he never did anything. And then, just let him carry on with this little game plan. But yeah, definitely think there should be more 10-10s and more 10-8s, and that'll encourage people a lot more.
A month later after that, you step back into the cage, Hex Fight Series 15 in your hometown. You stepped in against Gerhard Voigt, got the second round submission, Kimura. Was it important for you to get back in there real fast and get a win?
Not really. No, not as any more important. It's important for me at this in the twilight of my career that if I'm going to do it, I have to maintain. I have to be reasonably active. If I can choose, I'd fight every 4 weeks or so. That would be about right, because then you never get too out of shape. And it's not like I'm ever not training, but there's a big difference between fight camp training and normal training. And it doesn't matter how motivated you are or dedicated you are. You can't stay in fight shape when you don't have a fight coming up. Well, I'm sure I know some people can, but I'm not that guy.
Aftershock 31 is your next fight versus
Yep.
Daniel Almeida. He's a submission specialist. How do you rate his ground skills?
Oh, very, very highly. I watched a bit of his videos, his jiu-jitsu matches. He looks like a better version of me.
Almeida, he had spent a lot of time, outside of the cage. He just recently returned to MMA competition a few weeks back at Eternal 36. Did you check out his performance?
Yeah, I did actually watch the stream. We had a young boy fighting on that card, a young boy from Perth fighting on the card. So I watched the whole stream, and I did think, oh well, I might as well stay and watch Daniel fight, because I might be able to get a kind of an inkling into how he's going to fight. But unfortunately, there wasn't much I could take away from that other than he's good at jiu-jitsu.
Is there anything else that you know about Daniel that kind of stand out other than his jiu-jitsu?
He's short but looks strong.
All
I
right.
don't think he can take a punch too well, but
We'll find out, right?
we gotta hit him. We gotta hit him before he can put me on the ground. That's for sure.
Let's talk about your training camp. You said that you were, in the process of helping other guys in your team prepare for fights. So in your training camp, when did you start and how has it been going?
Started 10 years ago. I never stopped. Yeah, I wouldn't. I just the training that I do, in, like the MMA training, doesn't really change when I have a fight coming up because we kind of have just like group practice sessions, and then the only thing that I change is in the mornings I do my cardio, my strength training, and all the rest of it. So that's the bit that I do when the fights are coming up, is I try to get myself in some semblance of shape. But we've got the wrestling nationals in Perth next weekend, so we've been doing heaps of hard wrestling sessions, which is probably going to help because you know, negatively wrestling will help a lot, I would say.
Are you
So
competing?
yeah, I'm competing in the nationals for sure. Yeah, it's a little warm up.
How much of a difference does it make when you have so much wrestling in your camp?
I think wrestling's one of those things where like it's the closest cardio thing to fighting, whereas you can do heaps of circuits or pads and conditioning and stuff like that. It doesn't really replicate the same tiredness as fighting, but wrestling is pretty close. Like if you have a few hard scrambles, that's pretty much where you're at when you're tired in a fight. So I think in terms of the energy and stuff, it's going to help, and just that real specific strength and timing. You know what I mean? You don't want to mistime a sprawl on a guy like Daniel. You know what I mean? You want to make sure you get it right, and you don't want to change into angles and putting you on your back, especially early when he's fresh and dry.
Since this is a middleweight title fight, are you able
Yeah,
to eat more and not worry too much about your weight cut or your diet?
yeah, no, absolutely. Like normally, how far away? 3 weeks out from the fight. Normally, I'd be getting pretty miserable right about now. But actually, I'm eating quite healthy because I am getting a bit heavier as I get older. But I just know that I'm not going to have to kill myself to make it. I think I didn't even weigh myself before the Hex fight. I didn't weigh myself until a week out, and then a week out, I weighed myself and go, okay, I've got to lose this much. But yeah, it's pretty crazy. I don't. Yeah, the only problem is with the middleweights is some of them are quite large, and I think Daniel's quite a large one. But yeah, whatever. Bigger they are, the harder they fall.
What kind of fight are you expecting against Almeida?
Um, I don't know. It's up to him. Like I think it's like going to be a little bit of what everyone expects. Like he's going to try to take me down, and I'm going to try to not get taken down. And then when he can't take me down, is he going to get desperate? Is he going to jump on his back? Is he going to try to throw bombs at me? I don't know. It's up to him. I'm just going to like kick him in the teeth.
Now, I know that you teach classes at your gym, Kick-Ass MMA. So when you prepare for a fight, do you kind of pull back on the amount of classes you're teaching, or do you just go with the flow and continue teaching the same amount and just ramp up your
Yeah, well,
training?
yeah, I've got like heaps of coaches working at the gym for me now, so I actually don't coach as much as I used to. So I get to like just be a student and jump into all the classes. I pretty much just run the fighter sessions for the MMA, and I teach like no gi once a week. But yeah, and I teach the kids, of course, because that's like teaching the kids teaches me different things that I can't learn on the mats normally. Apart from that, yeah, no, I don't actually coach that much these days, which is good. Just sort of more overseeing everything, which is fantastic.
You just mentioned that you teach the kids, you
Yeah,
run the kids MMA classes.
yeah.
Why would you recommend parents to allow their children to participate in these types of classes? Because nowadays parents are very protective of their kids and they don't allow them to go outside and do things that are physical.
I know exactly. So, there's a lot of gyms at the moment doing like bully prevention and stuff like that, and just trying to increase kids' confidence and all the rest of it. So, I've got a program that makes the kids more effective bullies, and we're learning to counteract some of these anti-bullying strategies so that we can, keep our kids on top of the playground hierarchy. And no, I'm just messing. Look, they have to get used to contact. They have to get used to, a little bit of physical stuff. That the natural competitiveness in martial arts is going to help them in life, and especially at a time when the schools are kind of taking that away. They're saying, oh no, everyone gets a ribbon, or everybody gets to, there's no winners, there's no losers. But we all know, unfortunately, that's not what life's like. It's a bit more competitive than that. So if you can put them in any kind of competitive environment, early on, it helps. And martial arts is, it's physically good for them. It does teach them realistic skills. It's super fun, and the risk of injury is really, really low. And I don't think parents understand that. I think they would associate martial arts with injuries more than, say, football or rugby, but it couldn't be further than the truth. It's actually like damn near the opposite. You know what I mean? You get 10-year-old kids who do their knees playing football and rugby, and that's just insane. Whereas, what do you get? What do you get if you're wrestling? You might get a banged up nose or a bent back finger every now and then, but the kids are pretty durable, and everything's padded and everything's safe. I think martial arts for the kids is just the best thing ever.
Brisbane, Australia, Aftershock 31 main event. Stephen Kennedy versus Daniel Almeida for the vacant middleweight title. It's going to be a good fight, man. I'm anticipating this one because you guys are both very good on the ground, so I'm thinking that it might play out on the feet.
Could be the world's worst kickboxing match.
Maybe, but it could be one of the. It could be one of the.
That's the thing. I mean, I'm happy as to go to the ground with him. You know what I mean? It's definitely not jiu-jitsu. It's definitely not a jiu-jitsu match. It's definitely an MMA fight. So I back my skills on the ground against anyone. And these little armbar triangles don't work so good when the hammer fists and the elbows are coming. So yeah, I'm not too worried where it goes, but I definitely plan on staying off the bottom.
All right, Steven, thank you for your time, and good luck on your fight, man.
Thank you. I'll see you in Brisbane.